good day. My name is Ingrid Daphne Absimplicio from 12 Gas A. Today I'm going to discuss figures of speech under Module 1 entitled Understanding Imagery, Diction, Figures of Speech, and Variation of Language. Objectives of presentation. Defining what is figures of speech. Discussing figures of speech and giving example of each figures of speech. First, what is figures of speech? A figures of speech is a word or phrase that means something different than its literal meaning. It can be metaphor or simile that is designed to further explain a concept. Figures of speech are words or phrases used in a non-literal sense of rhetorical or vivid effect. Figures of speech is a form of expression such as simile or metaphor, used to convey meaning or heighten effect, often by comparing or identifying one thing with another that has meaning or connotation familiar to the reader or listener. Figures of speech. Number 1. Alliteration. The repetition of an initial consonant sound. Example, Sally sells seashells. Number 2. Allusion. The act of alluding is to make indirect reference. It is a literary device, a figures of speech that quickly stimulates different ideas and associating using only a couple of words. Example, David was being such a Scrooge. Scrooge is the allusion, and it refers to Charles Dickens' novel, A Christmas Carol's courage was very greedy and unkind, which David was being compared to. Number 3. Anaphora. The repetition of the same word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses or verses. Contrast with epiphora and epistrophe. Example, I came, I saw, I conquered, by Julius Caesar. Number 4. Antanaclasis. Antanaclasis. It is a rhetorical device in which a word is repeated and whose meaning changes in the second instance. Antanaclasis is a common type of pun. Example, your argument is sound, nothing but sound, by Benjamin Franklin. The word sound in the first instance means solid or reasonable. The second instance of sound means empty. Number 5. Anticlimax. Refers to a figures of speech in which statement gradually descend in order of importance. Example, she is a great writer, a mother, and a good humorist. Figures of speech. Number 6. Antiparasis. A figures of speech in which a word or phrase is used to mean the opposite or of its normal meaning to create a ironic, humorous effect. From the Greek anti, which means opposite, and parasis means diction. Example, she's so beautiful, she's an attractive long nose. Number 7. Antithesis. The juxtaposition of contrasting ideas in balanced phrases. Example, many are called, but few are chosen. Number 8. Apostrophe. Breaking off discourse to address some absent person or thing, some abstract quality, an inanimate object or non-existent character. Example, oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of this noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. By Shakespeare. Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 1. Number 9. Assonance. Identity or similarity in sound between internal vowels in neighboring words. Example, The Crumbling Thunder of Seas by Robert Louis Stevenson. Number 10. Cataphora. Refers to a figures of speech where an earlier expression refers to or describe a forward expression. Cataphora is opposite of anaphora. A reference to forward as opposed to backward in the discourse. Example, after he had his orders, the soldier left the barracks. He is also a cataphoric reference to the soldier which is mentioned later in the discourse. 11. Chiasmus, a verbal pattern in which second half of an expression is balanced against the first but with the parts reversed. Example, he knowingly led and we followed blindly. Number 12. Climax refers to a figure of speech in which words, phrases, or clauses are arranged in order of increasing importance. Example, they are three things that will endure: faith, hope, and love. But the greatness of this is love. 1 Corinthians 13:13. Number 13. Dysphemism refers to the use of harsh, more offensive word instead of one considered less harsh. Euphemism is often contrasted with euphemism. Dysphemisms are generally used to shock or offend. Example, snail mail for postal mail. Number 14. Ellipsis refers to the omission of a word or words. It refers to construction in which words are left out of a sentence but the sentence can still be understood. Example, I will never stop. Number 15. Euphemism, the substitution of an offensive term for one considered offensively explicit. Example, going to the other side of death means pass away or die. Some additional key details about figures of speech. The ancient Greeks and Romans exhaustively listed, defined, and categorized figures of speech in order to better understand how to effectively use language. The names of figures of speech derive from the original Greek or Latin. Figures of speech that play with the literal meaning of words are called tropes, while figures of speech that play with order or pattern of words are called schemes. Figures of speech can take many forms. A figure of speech can involve a single word, a phrase, an omission of a word or phrase, a repetition of words or sounds, or a specific sentence of structures. That's all for today. Thank you.